So I'm Sarah. I'm an alcoholic, located in Jackson or like Ridgeland, Mississippi. I'm really happy to be here. I'm really grateful that I made it 4 years. I don't know how. I really don't. I know what I've been doing and I know what's helped, but I don't know exactly how. And especially how I don't think about alcohol like I used to, how I can live in a house where I have a brother that smokes pot and parents that drink, and I'm fine. Like I smell it, see it, and I don't think about it. It's a miracle, really. And I'm just going to start out with how I got here. So I sought out alcohol. I would not say that I was peer pressured in any way. I would say I peer pressured because I just had this feeling that it was going to help and make me feel better. I've always been very uncomfortable in my skin, and I thought everyone felt like that, but then I look around and everyone seemed fine. Other students in my class were making their grades and loving their parents and had like great group of friends, and I just didn't even want to see myself in the mirror most days, at young too. So I remember like seeking out alcohol, and then as soon as I took a sip, I felt like everything changed. I no longer felt stupid, so I felt like I could talk. I didn't feel ugly, so I felt like I could show my face to people. Um, and I felt funny. I didn't feel boring or lame. Everything that I've been saying to myself the past few years, everything just shut off, and I was only present. I was only with like doing what I was doing in the beginning, and it was really fun, really fun. I won't say it wasn't because that's a lie. It was great. And then I, I wanted more. I got to a point with alcohol and with substances outside of alcohol where every time I tried to control it, I couldn't enjoy it. And every time I tried to enjoy it, I couldn't control it. And it led me to some really bad places. I had no friends at the end. I was failing out of high school. I had a terrible relationship with my parents. I didn't have anything left. I just self will run riot. I just was so self-righteous. Everything I did wrong, I still felt like people were wrong for telling me I was wrong, and I didn't consider anyone in my life at all. And so I know you guys probably know how that feels. I don't want to speak too much on alcoholism, or no, I'm kidding. It's AA, but I mean like the before part. I got to a point where I got to a place where I was with my family on Thanksgiving, and my uncle at 37 years old finally decided to come out as gay. And if you can see that Mississippi, it's tough to do that. It's not easy to do that. He had moved away, and it was his moment. Like it was his moment to, I don't, it was just, and I ruined it. I'm stumbling on my words because I'm trying to find the nice way to say, like, I made it all about myself. I cussed him out because I didn't know what he was saying, and I wanted to go back to the bathroom to drink at Thanksgiving. And then I figured out what he was saying, and I started bawling, crying, like made it about myself. And then I passed out on the couch, and that was like his moment. But it was my moment because I make everything about myself. I'm selfish, self-centered. I don't care what anyone else needs. Couldn't be there for people. I couldn't show up. And that was the first time where I was like, oh my God, this person that's done no harm to anyone. This is the nicest person we have in our family, to be frank. I just ruined this for him. Like the one time that he asked us to listen. And so I decided to go to rehab, because I thought I would get a break. I thought I could get my breath back. I thought I could, just step away from it and then go back to it and it would be totally normal. And that's not what I found. I found that I have a disease that doesn't allow me to drink normal. And that was heartbreaking for me. It was like a funeral. It really, really felt like someone died. Someone very, very close to me died. I was just bawling, crying all the time. And I could understand that, like, I may drink and die, but I could stay sober and live the worst life I've ever imagined sober. So I was very ready to just drink and die and just see how it goes. Um, and then I saw really happy people in the rooms. And at our rehab, we had techs, people that were also in recovery, and they just seemed fine with themselves. And that was really just what I wanted. I wanted to be fine with myself. I wanted to be happy. I wanted to have a community. At the end of the day, I want to be loved. And they seem to have all of that. So since then, I've just tried to do what people tell me to do in the rooms. And I got a sponsor immediately, and it didn't work out. But then I got another sponsor, and that sponsor before kept me sober for 3 months. And I started doing service because they were like, that's what you should do. You should get a service position. And so I got a service position. And then I started reading the book with my sponsor. I started praying, which was just such a tough thing because I didn't understand it at all. But the power of meeting with someone one-on-one, unmatched. You know, I get more from that some days than a meeting, because to be able to talk to another woman about what it means to have a higher power, and that it's not my parents' God or my friend's God, helped me stay here, because I thought I was screwed if I couldn't believe in a higher power. And then I just kept doing it, and I didn't have an end goal. I didn't know if I was going to stay sober. I didn't know, um, how much better my life was going to be at the time, but I kept going to meetings. I tried to stay out of my head as much as possible by calling other women and meditating and journaling and doing all these things. And I found my what I was good at in the program, if that makes sense. And this is just my opinion about AA, but I see it a lot. For me, like, the doing was, I can totally do. I can do the step work. I can go to the meeting. I can do little journals during the meeting about what I like that someone said. And that was just what I could do. What was really hard for me was the meditating and the praying, which came later. But I'm grateful that, like, there was something that I could do, and I have friends that don't do well talking in public, or like greeting, or doing step work. Like, they do really well with meditation, and like they told me that that's what they do in the beginning. And I I so I want to read something. I had to chair a meeting earlier today, and I just was trying to. It's one of those situations I was looking up something really quick. But this is the daily reflections for today. Suit up and show up. In AA, we aim not only for sobriety, we try again to become citizens of the world that we rejected, and of the world that once rejected us. This is the ultimate demonstration toward which 12th step work is the first but not the final step. The old line says, suit up and show up. That action is so important that I like to think of it as my motto. I can choose each day to suit up and show up or not. Showing up at meetings starts me toward feeling a part of that meeting. I can talk with newcomers and I can share my experience. That's what credibility, honesty, and courtesy really are. Suiting up and showing up are the concrete actions I take in my ongoing return to normal living. I like that a lot, because I feel like that's all I could manage to do when I came in. All I could do was just to come to the meeting. I could not get intellectual about alcoholism. I couldn't, draw out a timeline of what I wanted from the program. Like I didn't know what I was doing here. We have a lot of new people here, so if you feel like that, just keep coming back and just see if it works. I'm glad that people said that to me because my life has changed so much now. And talking to someone before the meeting about hard times and sobriety or just hard times and like how to get through them. And like my hard times in sobriety have hit this year. Very beginning, my dog died. My dad got diagnosed with dementia. We lost a family friend to cancer. My aunt lost her baby to COVID. I'm terrified and I don't know what to do, but I have no choice but to just show up, for AA, for my family, for my friends, for my job, for my schooling. Like everything that I've learned in these meetings has translated to the other parts of my life. And they're not just rules that I get to follow in the rooms. I don't like I did at the very beginning. I would come into meetings and be so nice to people. And then I'd like go home and say, fuck you to my brother. And like, fuck off parents and all that. And start fights at the house. Like I now get to use principles with my family, which is the hardest thing. And I get to use principles at school. Like I get to show up and I get to be honest about my grades and I get to, same thing at work. Like I can't say more about how grateful I am for this program and the women, and I'm saying women because I'm a woman, but the people that have shown up for me and for nothing, not wanting anything from me. And if you're new and you don't understand that or think that anyone will show up for you, we will, promise. Makes me emotional to think about because, we do it because we get it. Like we really get how awful this is, how awful the feeling to be addicted to something and for it to rule our whole lives. And there is a solution. It's not a cure, but there's a daily reprieve that we get from this program. And I feel pretty free today. I feel like I can walk anywhere. I feel like I can go anywhere. I can do anything. Nothing feels like it's out of my reach now. I'm not trying to say it's like in a crazy way, but I have tools and I've got people and miracles have happened to me by working the steps. So that was a lot to say. Thank you for letting me share. I'm really excited to hear from people. I'd love to hear newcomers. Thanks.